Alright everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I'm Sean. This is In The Mixer, episode 193 of our Isle of Man series. Our final season on the Isle of Man continues with two huge games we're going to bring you today. We've had a couple of games in the Champions League to try and catch up to that defeat we had yesterday. Had a couple more games in the Premier Division as we continue trying to stay at the top of the table. There's a whole bunch of stuff we want to recap. And yes, I'm looking quite fresh. I've had a haircut. Hairdressers are reopening in Melbourne, thank God. My long, luxurious lockdown locks have disappeared for the moment, but we need to look fresh. We need to be ready to go for FM21. Let's jump in and see how we've gone. So, as you guys can see, Manchester City currently top of the table on goal difference. 7 games played, 6 wins, 1 draw, plus 20 goal difference. Just ahead of us, we're only on plus 18 goal difference, which isn't the worst thing in the world. We are capable of scoring quite a few. They've just been on quite the run in their recent games. We do actually play them today in one of the two huge games we're going to be bringing you in today's episode. Over in the Champions League, as far as that's concerned, we are in second spot with a win against Zenit St. Petersburg, a 6-1 victory, enough to push us up there. Inter did beat Red Bull Salzburg. We play them in our next Champions League match, and that will be a big one to kind of determine what that top 2 is going to look like. We will try and bring you, I think, the reverse fixture against Inter as well, maybe in tomorrow's episode, sorry. But the other game that we're also going to bring you today is Leicester at home. So it's a double homestand at the FC Isle of Man Stadium. It's a huge opportunity to get 6 points, and if we beat Manchester City, I think it's a massive opportunity for us to jump above them and maybe get a points lead at the top of the table. Fingers crossed if all goes well. Of course, in yesterday's episode, we did play Southampton 2-1 with victors in that match and then lost 1-0 to Inter. We've since drew with Watford 1-1, which is interesting when you consider which prominent Sports Interactive personality is a Watford fan. They seem to me to be overpowered every year, but I'm going to take my tinfoil hat off for a little bit. We then beat Manchester City 4-1 in the Carabao Cup in a very good performance. We rotated a little bit, given that it was the Carabao Cup, but I did try and keep a strong squad together just because I want to try and keep ourselves in as many competitions as late in the season as we can. And then we had a very good performance beating Brighton 3-0, and as I mentioned earlier, Zenit St. Petersburg, a 6-1 victory last time out. Puts us in a good little run of form heading into the game against Man City. 3 straight wins, 13 goals scored in that period. I'm hopeful we can go hell for leather, go attacking, get super aggressive, and get a good result to hopefully set down a marker for the rest of the season. As far as the squad's concerned, we've got a couple of walking wounded. You can see Arnaud Henry is currently out 2 to 4 weeks with a torn groin muscle. He was out for like 6 or 7, but it just worked out. Like, I'm glad we actually had Bradley Taylor around. I didn't try and turf him because he comes straight in as a very high quality replacement in that DLP role. Carlos Andres had a bit of a knock. He's out 2 days. I'm not going to risk him against City. We might try and get him back if he's fully fit for the next match. Bruno Castro picked up a knock, but he'd only be on the bench anyway. And Max Olsen, in the last match against Zenit St. Petersburg, broke his foot. He's out 2 to 3 months, which isn't ideal. It does mean Uli Schaefer comes back in, and he has been playing pretty well. But thank God we've got the depth that we've got this season, because in previous years, going into this game against Manchester City, this would have been a real challenge. Tactically, we've just been tweaking between our attacking structure and our positive structure. I want to try and keep this lineup out there as much as possible. You can see Gabriel and Blazer working a nice little partnership on the right. I want to try and get something similar going on the left, and at centre back, and in midfield, and up front as well. So, like, we've got developments we want to keep trying to make. We want to keep trying to get this team and this squad out there together as much as humanly possible. But otherwise, things are going pretty well. Still early in the season, but we are getting good results. We are undefeated in the league, which is fantastic to see. City, of course, no longer managed by Patrick Vieira, who's had them the last couple of seasons. He's moved to Atletico Madrid. They're now Thomas Tuchel's Man City, which means they go back to the 4-2-3-1 that they've been playing, that really every big team plays in Football Manager 2020 if you've been playing the game late into seasons. We're in season 22. I'm sure if you've had your own saves that have gone that length of time, you are also seeing very similar things. They've got phenomenal players. Cerrone's great. Francois, I would love to have in our side. Mamadou Gay, we've looked at quite a few times. Brady's arguably the best fullback in the game. Sanchez is excellent. Excellent. Menegazzo we played against for years when he was at Brighton. Pereira is a phenomenal talent, like 4.5-star current potential ability. He's dropped off a little bit, but still just an absolute beast on that left-hand side. Alan Vasher leading the line up top. He scores against us every time we play them. He's an exceptional player, 4.5-star current and potential ability for the 30-year-old Frenchman. They've got quality. We know they've got quality. They're very, very good. We're going to go with Mancini in goal. Esteban will take the armband with Carlos Andres still out injured alongside the Pooch. Lucas Gabriel at right wing back is our leading assist maker so far this season. Medjidou fills in at left back. Taylor will anchor midfield. In the absence of Arno, Henri, Temperini plays as the Messiah. Cisse continues working as that advanced playmaker on the left-hand side. Blaze over on the right-hand side as that inverted winger. Schaefer will play at the turn and will push Balde across to be the advanced forward in the front two. He's had a good little run of scoring form as well. Hopefully, that partnership can start to flourish and we don't miss Max Olsen as much as we potentially would in previous years. Passionately, we're going to say, great opportunity to show the pundits every right to back you up, and everyone's responded fantastically, which is exactly what we want to see. And it must be said, even though we are focusing on City, if Tottenham or Chelsea get a good result and we get a draw here, they could go above us as well. So super important that we don't fall further behind City and potentially let that chasing pack get involved. Henri Blaise won the ball back in a good area. Lucas Gabriel drags a couple of defenders across. All the way back to the Pooch. Across now to Esteban. Can we work this side to side? Is the switch on, boys? Back to Pooch. Instead, he's looked for Gabriel, who's made a good run in behind. Can he drag a defender? Looks for a ball back stick towards Cisse. It's a wonderfully timed run from the German left winger. And he powers ahead of back cross goal. 7 goals in, I think, pretty much 7 appearances for the German. Absolutely fantastic stuff from him. Great ball there for Lucas Gabriel, whose hair has somehow changed in the last 2 days, but good header back across goal as well from Cisse, and he peels off towards the corner flag. A very familiar sight from him in the opening few games of the season, and it would see us, as things stand, go 3 points clear at the top of the table, but we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. Long way to go in the game just yet. Throw in though, left-hand side, Medjugorje to take, exchanges the 1-2 with Temperini, and now to Cisse. Cut back for Temperini, tries to get a ball in, but it's cleared pretty effectively away by Brady. The Pooch will get a chance to reset. Works it all the way back to Mancini. Wait for the press to come. And he switches sides out to Esteban and now out to Cisse. We've got the 2v1 on the left if we work this correctly. They send Schaefer into the channel. Looks for the cutback. Taylor at the edge of the area. Now Medjugorje cutting inside. It's a poor ball across and now the ball forward to Vasher. Taylor's done very well in midfield to win it straight back. And he's got some space in front of him. He goes to drive. It wasn't miles away from the far post, but a lovely little counter press there after we gave away possession, getting right on the ball carrier to win back. Throw in on the left-hand side here for Francois. Keklik in possession across to Sanchez. He's the one that we're going to have to be wary of. That extra man in midfield for them, just sitting at the base. Pereira got goal side, but a very good tracking run, and it's a good clean tackle as well. Puts it out for the throw-in. We're going to hit demand more. We have got a throw-in here before that shout goes through. Balde and Gabriel working it down the right-hand side. Now Henri Blaise. Good reverse pass to Balde. Ball towards back stick. Cisse was there, and again a good header, but Cerrone good save down to his right-hand side. Saves and holds. Highlight might continue here as well. They've gone to Sanchez in midfield. You can see Cisse coming across to him now, and they've switched it out left towards Pereira. Just stand him up, boys. Don't do anything silly. Taylor's right there with him. Keklik it gets cut back to, and that is a rifle of a shot. And he has found an equaliser for Manchester City. They did kind of knock a little bit in that last little highlight that we saw, and this time they've absolutely punished us on the counter. Pereira does quite well. Just drags the defenders, waits for 2 to commit, cuts it back to Keklik, and he absolutely smashes that one near post. Maybe Mancini could have done a little bit better with his angles. Maybe he was a little bit unsighted by the defender in front of him as well. But City restore parity in other games. Tottenham have just taken a lead against Arsenal. I think Chelsea were down if I quickly glanced at that result against Brighton. But ball here with Temperini at the edge of the area. Good drive. Cerrone with its save to push it over for another corner. It's going to be Blaise to take. Left-footed player on the right-hand side. Killing back towards the keeper, but it's cleared away by the City defence. Balde. Now Medjugorje looks to send Cisse in the channel, but the highlight comes to an end. We're into injury time in the first half now, and Sadikovic has gone with a long ball forward towards Vasher. Knocked down for Menegazzo. Now Vasher trying to counter-attack. Can he try and do something from the wide area? Cut back towards back stick, and it wasn't a terrible header, but it was looping just over the crossbar, thankfully. So it's half-time's called. 9 shots, 5 on target, 54% possession for the Isle of Man. 6 shots, 2 on target, 46% of the ball for City. But City have just had like the last 2 or 3 highlights. We're going to go in and we're going to say passionately, we're not doing badly. If everyone continues to work hard, we'll win this. And I might also just tell everyone calmly that I think there's a lot more to come from them, and most have responded positively, which is good to see. It doesn't kill us that we lost those couple of players to injuries, but it does kind of mean that we don't have the strength in depth to come off the bench. Long ball forward there. Schaefer knocks it down very well for Balde. If he can work this out to the left-hand side, Henri Blaise is there. Instead, he goes the drive from the edge of the area, and it did hit side netting, but really a little bit more composure, maybe a cut back towards far post would have put us in a much better situation. Yeah, Chelsea are down 2-0 to Brighton. That's a good result, but as things stand, Tottenham would go top of the league if this game stays as a draw. Good ball in, and it's cleared now to Toby Owens, who looks like he's come off the bench and is now playing up front for City. Can't do much in midfield. Finds Menegazzo. Now Sanchez look to send one out wide left to Vasher. Lucas Gabriel there with him. Cut back to Francois. Ball in towards Toby Owens. Flick on from Taylor, and Schaefer's got ball day out on the right-hand side. He's got a lot of work to do to try and beat a few men, and he goes the drive from about 25 yards. Wasn't really on, to be honest. Deep free kick. Esteban to take. Across to the Pooch. Now Taylor for the switch. It's a poor ball. Sadikovic recovers for City. Now Sanchez. Back to Gay. Sadikovic. Sanchez again. Just playing that quarterback role. Cerrone. Long clearance forward towards Vasher, who looks like he might have moved out to the left-hand side. Francois. Cut in here for Sanchez. Menegazzo. Now Owens turns the man on the 18-yard box and gets goal side and finds the finish. I can't lie, it's been coming for the last couple of highlights that we've seen. We're going to go to positive and we're going to make some subs real quick. So Schaefer's not played particularly well. Martinez will come on. He hasn't played that much this season. Blaze hasn't had the best game either. I might leave him out there though. I'm more concerned, I think, about Mejdu or maybe Temperini. Yeah, maybe Temperini's going to come off and Santana might come on in midfield, and we'll switch him and Taylor in their roles. Taylor looks like he's got a knock. Okay, all right, we might have to rethink what we were just about to do. Maybe Taylor comes off because he's down on 46% condition, and Santana comes on in midfield just to try and shore things up. And I don't want to rock the boat too much by making 3 subs with half an hour to go. I think that would only invite more pressure. We'll hold on for that last sub for the last 10 minutes, but we'll make this tactical tweak. Sanchez, Menegazzo, it's a good little ball in, and then Owens, this is the turn that kills us. He just peels away from the Pooch, and Esteban can't recover. Mancini doesn't quite do as well as perhaps he should have. It wasn't miles away from him, the finish, and it didn't have that much pace on it. Going to use Get Creative. Blaze with a free kick wide area. Pooch was there, back stick. Had to get that one on target. Cerrone had come out a little bit. The Get Creative shout has done a good job. Not deep free kick. It's a goal kick here with City. Georgia's gone long forward. No one challenges Owens, and he's able to bring the ball down in the final third. Sadikovic now, wide right area. Looks for the cutback. He's tracked well by Mejdu. Cisse recovers. Now Henri Blaze. What can he do on halfway? Santana out wide right to Lucas Gabriel. Beats the first man. Can he drag another defender across? Cut back to Santana. Out to Blaze. Gets it back on his left foot. Looks for Cisse back post, but that header just over the crossbar. But good. We're getting back into it. We're creating. We're going to use a demand more shout with about 15 minutes to go. We have got a throw in now left-hand side. Mejdu into Cisse. Back to Mejdu again. Menegazzo does make a challenge, but it falls back to Mejdu, stays on his feet. Switch out to the right, Blaze is there, and Lucas Gabriel's there in the overlap, but he's got to work hard to keep that one in. The pass was just a little bit overhit. Near stick ball, finds ball day. The flick on header finds Ibrahim Cisse for his 8th goal of the season. A huge result to try and get us back to 2-2. And we do have another save up our sleeve, which we might make in a minute or two here. Gabriel does very well. Blaze's ball wasn't great, but it did allow the defender more time to get across, I guess, and dragged another body out of the box. And then I'm not sure if ball day got to it first, and it was a flick on towards Cisse back post. But either way, it made its way there, and he rifled that shot back across the keeper. Mejdu, wide left area. Sanchez to Cairo. Back to Sanchez again. Now Brady on a yellow card. We'll be mindful of that. Georgia. Long ball forward. Esteban should win that header unchallenged. Temperini sends it out to the goal scorer, Cisse. Esteban, all the way back to Mancini. Wait for the press to come. Owens commits now. Works it out to the Pooch. Right-hand side. Henri Blaze, wide right area. Cut back towards Santana in midfield, who's been busy since he's come on. Temperini, over to Cisse. Now Mejdu on the overlap. Can we get a good ball in the box? Cut back towards backstick. Blaze with the header back across goal. It's the 3rd goal of the season for our record transfer. And the legendary winger adds to his history with a phenomenal goal from us. 2 goals in 3 minutes, just flashed up there on the commentary. So we're having a good little spell here. I wonder if maybe I'll wait until we get out of this little section of highlights before I make that 3rd sub. And a lovely header. Good ball in from Mejdu as well. Give him credit. And Blaze with a fantastic header back across goal. Corner here as well. Blaze to take towards backstick. Cisse was in there. Puts the ball back in. And Keklik just clears it long towards Cairo. Nobody goes to him. Mejdu comes across now. He's got a lot of work to do without a lot of support. But they're flowing forward now. Jovanovski on the overlap. Cairo with the header back across goal. Roxy Cairo, his 1st goal of the season. Maybe I should have made that sub a little bit earlier. We're going to hit pause. It's filtered by rating again. Santana, they're saying, isn't playing particularly well, which is a surprise to me. He's looked busy in the highlights that we've seen. They're actually saying our backline hasn't played particularly well pretty much across the board, which isn't ideal. I'm thinking this is a weird one to do because he's on double, but he's on 64% condition, so I think maybe Cisse is going to come off. We're going to bring on Paul Harold. We're going to maybe shift him back to be an inverted winger. And let's just see how that goes to kind of try and bring on a bit more attacking influence with about 10 minutes remaining. 3-3 doesn't kill us by any stretch, but to be from a winning position and to kind of throw it away in what is a relatively cheap counter-attack, we're just a bit slow getting out to Jovanovski, ball back across, and Cairo side foots at home. There were bodies in the box. You can see they committed about 6 men forward to getting into the box. There's quite a few, so they're definitely going after it. We're going to hit demand more, and there is a highlight here immediately from kickoff. Ball out to Blaze. He's got Gabriel in the overlap if he can find him. He skips past a few challenges though, and then goes the drive from the edge of the area. It wasn't miles away, but good signs. We're getting back into it. We've used that demand more shout, and Harold's won the ball back in a good area. What can the sub do? Cut back towards Temperini, edge of the area. Beats one. Vasher, I think, brought him down, and we're going to get a free kick here right on the edge of the area to be taken by Jose Santana. Can he make himself the hero, the Mexican midfielder? He's gone the wrong side. Why wouldn't he go the near post? He went far post, and it just wriggled beyond. Can we throw in one more get creative shout? They've got a highlight before we can do that, but Blazers won it back in a great area and an acre of space in front of him. Flying forward on the right-hand side. Can he find the finish? It's not a bad effort, just beyond the far post. Can we get one more get creative shout in with 2 minutes of additional time to be added on? No, we're through that time. The referees called full time. A 3-3 draw in the end. End-to-end stuff for both sides. 24 shots, 9 on target, 51% possession for the Isle of Man. 12 shots, 7 on target, 49% of the ball for Manchester City. Assertively, I'm going to say we were unlucky. I'm going to go through and tell everyone individually, or the different groups, that they were unlucky, and most seem happy or motivated, which is good. I just want to keep this morale up as much as possible. We can't let one frustrating result, kind of let morale get destroyed relatively quickly. We have got quite a few players out and injured as well. It does mean that we go second, or we stay second. And it looks like Tottenham also drew 4-4 with Arsenal, so another very high-scoring draw in that game. Chelsea came back from 2-0 down to draw with Brighton, so the top four doesn't move at all despite some very big fixtures and some very high-scoring affairs across the league. Cisse gets the Man of the Match award for his double. We'll give him a bit of praise. He was fantastic in front of goal. Tuchel's pleased? Okay, whatever, that's fine. Thomas Tuchel can be happy about whatever he wants. Now, we do actually have 2 weeks before the game against Leicester. We've got quite a few players going away on international duty as well. So, magic of editing, I'm going to jump forward to the game against Leicester now. Alright, just like that, we're a couple of weeks ahead. It wasn't too bad as far as international breaks go. We didn't get any massive injuries, but there are a couple of people that aren't quite ready to do 90 minutes, you would think. Lucas Gabriel's one, so I'm going to bring in Furkan Yilmaz at right back. Carlos Andre makes his return from injury. He's ready to go, which is good to see. And then in midfield, both Taylor and Temperini are sitting around 85% conditioning, so we will bring on Santana at some point. We'll check at halftime what their condition levels are like, and we will try and manage, the different levels of play. But given that we drew the last match, it's super important we get 3 points in this fixture. Leicester are playing like this weird arrowhead formation. It's kind of like a 4-5-1, but the 5 is sort of a diamond. More of a plus sign because Alvarado's just sitting in the middle there. This will be very interesting because we do play very wide. I could see Henri Blaise getting quite a bit of space. I could see Furkan Yilmaz overlapping, creating 2v1s against their fullbacks. It just depends how they transition. Like, how far do these wide players go? Are these both carrieros? Are they going to move into wide areas very quickly? Could be an interesting clash of 2 different ideas and clash of 2 different playing spaces is what I'm trying to say. They've got some good players as well. Ononi's a full England international. At centre-back here, Morel was at Manchester United for years and years. He's a very good, I think, Swiss central midfielder, or central defender. Saracita's going to play at the 10 instead of up front. He has scored against us quite a few times. So they've got players, but I think we should be beating Leicester at home. Calmly, we're going to say media have been praising lately, go and back it up, and they've all responded positively, which is fantastic to see. First highlight of the match, inside a minute, throwing here to Cisse on the left-hand side. What can he do? Wide left areas, cuts it back to Carlos Andre. Cut back towards the middle, and Baldo was in there, but straight out Flume, who does well to save and hold. Wide free kick here, Blaise to take towards back post. Schaefer's there, and he nods home for his 5th goal of the season. The big German finisher with a decent header at far post, and a lovely ball in there from Henri Blaise. That left-footed ball from the right-hand side. Keeper can't come to it because it's always curling back towards him. And a lovely peel off the shoulder there from Schaefer. Just nods it back across. You'd think maybe Leicester could have put a man on the post. Probably would have stopped that one going in, but hindsight's always 20/20. Cisse with the corner here. Flume comes out and claims the ball well. Highlight may continue here, but you can see they're not very wide in possession. They seem to all be staying very, very narrow, which is going to make it easy to get the ball back for us. Pooch, all the way back here to Mancini. Just hold the ball until the press comes. Striker comes, so he plays it across to Esteban, and a good switch out there towards Cisse on the left-hand side. He immediately puts it back over to the other side for Blaise, wide right area, and he gets a strike away, but Flume had his angles covered. Very good save. Chelsea are playing Manchester City in the other game today. We are going to keep an eye on that scoreline because it could potentially see us finish this game back on top of the division. Balday with a fantastic goal then, just as I was talking through it. Henri Blaise brought the ball down from the crossfield switch, played in a perfectly weighted pass, and all Balday had to do was get that final touch on it to slide it into the far corner. Good ball out here from Pooch. Blaise just finds a perfect pocket of space. That is a magnificent ball. Balday on his left, slides it into the bottom right-hand corner. Keeper can do absolutely nothing about it, and inside 15 minutes, we are 2 goals to the good. There is a throw in here, though, for Leicester. Dupois, first real involvement that we've seen from him. Now Natal looks to send Nekas on the overlap. So they are getting their fullbacks forward in wide areas. It could potentially leave them open for a counter-attack if we work the ball correctly. Carlos Andre in possession now on the left-hand side. He looks to send Schaefer into the channel. Got a fair bit of work to do. Balday is making his way into the box, and he gets there, and it wasn't a bad effort. Just beyond the far post, keeper was scrambling. Chelsea have taken a lead against City, which is a great result for us, but it would see Chelsea keep up some pressure, a couple of points behind. Natal in possession here for Leicester. Good switch out towards Nekas. Now Natal again into Reyes. They're going to have more bodies in centre of the park. We just have to not overcommit to the press. Alvarado, now Nixon. Switch out towards Nekas on the left. He's offering all the width on the left-hand side here. Reyes, back to Nekas. If we win the ball back, potentially Henri Blaise is going to be in space, but it's pinballing around. Saraceda puts a shot in. It hits the crossbar and then manages to hit Federico Mancini in the back for an own goal. Very unlucky for the Argentine stopper. You can see how wide forward Nekas is. If we can get the ball to Henri Blaise there, he's going to drive at defenders and cause all sorts of issues. Dupois with the knockdown header. Saraceda actually hits the post, and as Mancini's diving across to cover that initial shot, it hits him in the back and crosses the line for a very unfortunate own goal. United currently down to Burnley in other games. Tottenham currently losing to Watford. This could be a huge day in terms of results going our way. City have pulled the goal back, but Chelsea have gone 2-1 ahead in the other match. Even a draw between those two sides would be okay for us. 2 minutes to be added on at the end of the first half, which are 3 now. So 13 shots, 8 on target, 49% possession for the Isle of Man. 2 shots, none on target, and 51%, even though they've scored that own goal coming back from a shot off the post. Assertively, we're going to say, pleased with how things are going, keep it up, and most have responded positively. And it doesn't look like the fitness is too bad. Temperini's got 75%. We might take him off after an hour just to try and keep everybody going and try and get through what is a busy period in the fixture list. We do have, of course, a Champions League tie during midweek as well that we have to get everyone fit for. But we're through 62 minutes. We're going to hit pause. Temperini's not played poorly, but we're going to give him a spell. Santana will come on, and we might switch Taylor to the Messiah and Santana to the DLP. Esteban, they're saying, hasn't had a particularly good game. Might bring on Gasby just to try and keep everybody fresh at the back. And I'm going to hold off on that last sub for the last 10 minutes or so. Tell them we've got faith in them, and we're also going to use Old Faithful. A get creative shout after an hour. It usually does the trick. Into the last 10 minutes, a little passage there without any highlights for either side. Leicester in possession though. Clearance isn't great. Santana knocks it across to Blaise. Wide right area. Can he find a cut back towards backstick? Cisse was there, but the head up just over the crossbar. We're going to hit pause there. Let's make that last sub. And let's just go by match rating. They're saying Cisse hasn't had the best game. We'll bring on Paul Harold. And we'll let him play as an advanced playmaker. Let's just see how he goes with it. And we're going to use a demand washout with about 10 minutes remaining. We haven't seen much from Leicester, but that just kind of makes me more nervous. The fact that they haven't had a shot on target heading into the 90th minute makes me think they're going to bob up with like a 93rd minute highlight. But we are through the 3 minutes of additional time added on. The referee calls full time. It's 2-1 victory. Not our best performance, but a good win. 32 shots, 14 on target, and 58% possession for the Isle of Man. 3 shots, none on target, 42% possession for Leicester. Passionately, we're going to say, well done, lads. Good win for us. And I think if other results have gone our way, it could potentially see us go top of the division, which would be absolutely fantastic. It does indeed. So Chelsea held on 2-1 victors against Manchester City. United did come back and beat Burnley 2-1. Tottenham lost to Watford, which is great. Gives us a little bit of a buffer between that chasing second, third and fourth position. But as things stand, 3 points clear, plus 19 goal difference, still undefeated 9 games into the league season. A fantastic start from the boys from the Isle of Man. Henri Blaise gets the Man of the Match award, his 2 assists and an 8.9 match rating. We're going to give him a bit of praise. And thankfully, he has responded positively, and we are 19 games unbeaten in the Premier Division across the last season as well. Now, looking forward in schedule, I think we'll play Salzburg off screen. I think we'll play Everton off screen. We might jump forward and come back and do potentially the games against Wolves and Inter. Or maybe we'll do Inter and Arsenal. Bit of a revenge mission against Inter Milan after they beat us in the Champions League in the first tie. It could potentially see us as well go top of the group or top of Group A in our Champions League group stage, which is always helpful. And then maybe we'll play Arsenal. We've got Chelsea not long after that. We've got Liverpool and Tottenham towards the end of December. I think that kind of splits up the games quite nicely, and it allows us to jump ahead 5 or 6 games at this point, which I think will be helpful for the save and the series as well. As always, guys, thank you for your continued support on the series. If you want to support it that little bit extra, help the channel continue to grow, help the channel continue to get more eyes on the content as we build up towards FM21, you can drop a like on this video. You can also subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all of our videos as they continue to release right up until Football Manager 2021 and right into that year as well. But more than anything, as always, I just appreciate you guys watching. That's the part that means the most to me. As always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.